What is up, everyone? What is going on? How are you today? How are you today? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome on in. Coffee with Brodes. Fix my mic a little bit here. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little laid back today. A little laid back, reclining. It is what it is. I can't get over that Embiid shot. Me neither, dude. Me neither. That Embiid shot was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I cannot believe he missed that. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How disappointed was I last night? Chasing in on the foul line. Normally he's bread and butter. I know. I brought that up in the post-game show. It was not smooth. They were not smooth as a team from the free throw line, to be honest with you. What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? Joseph. Joe. What's up? Milwaukee is a must-win game. No excuses. I don't know what's up with Ben and Tobias, but we need them. Yeah, I mean, well, if they don't play, it's not an excuse. It's a reality. If they don't play, it's a problem. It's not an excuse. It's, hey, you don't have your top players, right? Like, is that an excuse or is that just the reality of the situation, which factors into the outcome? By the way, cheers, everyone. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Enjoy your coffee this morning. We're going with the old Calgary mug. How about that? Good old Calgary mug. It's a nice mug, nice item. I'll tell you what, it's a nice item. It's a little heavy, though. I feel like I'm doing bicep curls with these bad boys. It's a nice coffee mug, though. A little heavy. You got to get that right feel. It's got a good handle. Right, handle's key. It starts with the good handle. Then it goes to the weight. The weight's a little hefty for me, but I'll take it. It's a souvenir for my trip. Holy shit, I can't hold it that way. I'll burn my hand. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, we're lucky the Nets dropped one. Yeah, I mean, look, this is where it comes down to, and I talked about this in the post-game show yesterday. You're going to have to find the balance. You're going to find the balance of we need to get the number one seed, and we need to make sure we're healthy for the playoffs. And I know some might not like to hear that. Well, you got to make sure you get you got to find the balance. It might not be worth it to go full throttle because you saw Furkan Korkmaz twist his ankle. You saw Joel Embiid holding his left knee. So, it's definitely something that you need to think about. You got to worry about what is best for this franchise when we talk about May basketball, when we talk about June basketball. That's what matters. I'm telling you right now, if the Sixers do not make a deep run I'm trading Shake. Shake has no value. Ben and this year's first. Would that get Bradley Beal? I don't know. Because I think they play stubborn at that point. It depends how it plays out, though. Like, there's so much involved. What does deep run mean? If they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, would he get traded? Like, I think there's so much in play. It matters how it looks. It matters why you lose. If you lose to a team just because you get your ass kicked and Ben Simmons isn't the prop, like, there's a way to lose where it's on Ben Simmons' deficiencies, and then there's a way where you lose because the other team is better than you. So while we're all frustrated with Ben, if you lose because the other team's better than you, well, I mean, it's not necessarily fair to Ben Simmons, but if it's his deficiencies are a problem. Okay, so if you lose in the second round, I could get behind that. I could get behind if you lose in the second round, you try and you kind of maneuver through some things. Yeah, that would be very disappointing to fall and not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I can deal with that. That's the thing, though. If you get the second seed, you're lined up against a Milwaukee, and then you only see the Brooklyn Nets if you get to the third round and all. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with the assessment of you got to get past the second round because the last few years you haven't been able to. You are clearly better now. You have a player like Joel Embiid. I would agree with you. Eastern Conference Finals or bust. Bryce Harper's on today? What do you mean? Phillies don't play today. Phillies have an off day. They're actually going to Colorado where it was snowing. It was literally snowing. I don't know, though, if they end up 100% trading Ben Simmons just if they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, though. If they trade the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think they just automatically move him. I think that Daryl Morey's the closest we've ever had to actually trading him before in the past. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying, once again, it matters how it looks. It matters what it looks like. So if they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, then it's not fully on Ben. It's not Ben's deficiencies, but then he's not going anywhere. If it's a nightmare and Ben's problems is like problem number one with this franchise and they fall because of it, well, then, yeah, I think it's more open to conversation. Like, I don't want to sit here today and talk about trading Ben Simmons. They're about to make a legitimate playoff run. So I don't think today is the day to talk about trading Ben Simmons. I think that that's unfair, if you will. But I'll say this. If you're in the talks for James Harden and Bradley Beal, that's the level of caliber player. And Bradley Beal is not even on the same level as James Harden, but that's the category of players. I'm not trading him for just a random bum or a random average guy or just a good player because I'm frustrated with him. There's a line, and you got to make sure you cross the, like you can't just give him up for nothing. Sean with the $4 donation. Is Joel Embiid MVP if he hits that shot? No, I don't think it comes down to hitting one shot. That would be ridiculous if hitting one shot would be the difference in actually getting voted in as MVP or not. That would be a very flawed system if it came down to one shot. But that was fucking awesome. That was amazing. What he did in that game, I could not believe it. I guess at the time, in real time, when he jacked it up and you see the reaction, it's just one of those, like, wow, it hit the backboard, or wow, it hit the rim, or wow, that was pretty close, even though maybe it wasn't as close as it looked like it was just off the backboard. Then you see the slow-mo replay, and that thing is legitimately inside the rim. Inside the rim. I mean, it's just flat out ridiculous. Ridiculous what he was able to do with that shot. Let's see if I can I want to see if I could share my screen so we can watch it together. I think I should be able to do that. Let's see. Can you guys should be able to see that, right? How about this? Let's watch this thing. Let's watch this thing. Look at this. What? What? I just don't understand. I don't understand how that's possible. I don't understand. Ridiculous. Yeah, I saw all the screenshots last night of what happened in Toronto and then what happened last night in Philadelphia. It's just crazy. Yeah, I agree with this about Chris Paul. I used to think that Chris Paul was not boring. He would just bother me, a little annoying. I didn't connect with him as a player. I connected with his play. He's one of the best point guards ever, traditional point guard, but it got annoying almost. He just annoyed me. Now when you watch him, it's super fun, right? It's just like, wow, this guy's still doing it. He's 75 years old. They wheel him in a wheelchair in the locker room before the game begins, all that. And then he ties on his shoes. He ties on his b-ball shoes, and he goes out there and he gives you 20 plus. He's giving you a bunch of assists. He made some big shots last night in that fourth quarter. He was helping out. And then Devin Booker went to town. How do you leave Carter wide open in the corner like that? My man is not a shooter. My man is not a shooter at all. Yet here he is wide open, just splashing threes. Come on, we got to be better than that, people. Oh, come on. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing this. Really? We're now bitching about where Joel Embiid is. That's the power of Joel Embiid. That's the power of Joel Embiid. Why is Embiid always at the top of the key running dribble handoff instead of getting deep post position? How old are you, if I may ask? I want to know how old you are. Because if you're watching Joel Embiid play right now and you're bothered by his positioning, well, then come on. What are you watching? I mean, it's 2021 basketball. Do you watch Jokic? Do you watch the Denver Nuggets go beat the LA Clippers last year with a crazy 3-1 comeback? Where does Jokic run his spots? You need to have that. That's the versatility of the big man. That's the threat. The reason why when you faced up, you can do so much damage in the mid-range game, the reason why you can do so much play, I'm only 17? Jesus Christ, man. You're only 17 and you're talking about deep post penetration. What do you I'm actually baffled by this statement. I'm absolutely baffled by this statement. I don't know how you can watch Joel Embiid this year and think that he's not posting up enough. He's not back to his basket enough. I am lost right now with this statement. Really. I mean, kudos to you for stunning me this hard at 9:15 in the morning. Crazy. He does everything up top, but he does everything down low. Like he dropped 38 and 17 last night. This is crazy. That's a crazy comment here today on Sports Talker Brodes. No, he doesn't. What? How many more buckets can he get? My man gives you 38, 40, 50. Like, what? How many more buckets can Joel Embiid truly get? If you're giving me 38 and 17 in 33 minutes, no, you can't. Like, he's a human being. He's a human being. He gets enough buckets. He is perfectly fine with the amount of buckets that he gets. There's nothing wrong with the amount of buckets he gets. With the amount of buckets he gets now, it's almost too much. He gets too many buckets. You want more. You're getting greedy with what you're getting. Well, yeah, Mikey, if your dad's complaining, your dad doesn't like basketball. He doesn't like basketball. Crazy. I am stunned. Sean has a question here. What if Joel proceeds to average 30 points per game? That is a $2 donation. He would I don't think they're going to give it to him. I just think there's something in this right now where they're not going in that direction. Unfortunately for us, I don't think that's where they're going. I feel if you look at let's look at the odds for because that'll tell you everything. If you go to I normally like to use my DraftKings Sportsbook app, but I'll use their web browser right now. And you can utilize your DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code Brodes when you sign up for phenomenal odds and promotion boosts. Yeah, I'm going to pull on my DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll look at the actual odds. So then when we look at the odds, we can discuss where he falls. But the last time I saw it, didn't look like it was in play. Yeah, Shake Milton's having a really tough go. And I mean really, really tough go. Oh, man, I got to sign back in. The old I did not charge my phone last night trick. Come on, what am I doing here? Face recognition. I gotta type in my password. Here I am trying to smile at my phone like a doofus. Aha, we're in. Yeah, I know. George Hill is what you need him to be. Yeah, George Hill is going to show you that. George Hill is that guy. George Hill is definitely that guy. All right, futures. Team futures. No. Come on, I didn't charge my phone last night. I'm at 1%. So if my phone dies before I get the opportunity to look at the actual futures. MVP winner. Okay. All right. Well, Joel Embiid is second in line. You got Jokic at minus 360. So that's a pretty heavy favorite. Minus 360 for Jokic. Joel Embiid is plus 340. He's next in line. Then Curry is plus 1,700. Giannis is plus 2,000. So it really comes down to there are some other odds in there. James Harden is having that injury, so he's not going to do it. Dame plus 3,300. Steph Curry could be your outside shot looking in at plus 1,700. I wouldn't take those odds. It looks like Jokic is going to do it, though. Minus 360 compared to Joel Embiid at plus 340. I think it's pretty much longevity here with the season where Jokic is amazing, right? So I don't like that there's going to be probably fans out there going, no way, Jokic. No, Jokic is just as good as Joel Embiid offensively. just as good. He plays a different way. It's not as like eye-popping, but he's just as good as Joel Embiid is offensively. It's the defense that I think Embiid has but longevity. You got to be able to play. You got to be able to be out there. And if Jokic plays the rest of the way and plays Jokic basketball, it's his to lose. So the way it's set up is it's Jokic's MVP to lose. He averages 26, 11, and 8. Well, really 26, 11, and 9. Embiid averages 30, 11, and 3. So just the way it works. Just the way it works. Longevity matters. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with these guys. I don't know. Something tells me second half of a back-to-back, they're just going to chill. Something tells me we're going to watch a basketball game not full throttle tonight, and then tomorrow on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock when you play the Milwaukee Bucks again, that's when you'll get the team full throttle. How can you be an MVP when your team has no chance to win? Whoa. Giannis has been MVP, and I mean, you could have made that. Why do you say Denver has no chance? Because Murray got hurt? You're not going to criticize. You can't. That's like saying if Ben Simmons gets hurt, all right, just to put it in perspective, this is how flawed your mindset is. If Ben Simmons got hurt and Joel Embiid played the whole season the way he did, that's like saying, well, Ben Simmons isn't available anymore, so we're going to not give Joel Embiid the MVP. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So imagine if Tobias Harris was unavailable and Ben Simmons got hurt, so they just didn't give it to Joel Embiid after the season that he had this year with 30 and 11 and 50-point games, and he was being explosive. That would never happen, and you would have an outrage. Ben Simmons isn't Jamal Murray. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible mindset. That is just a horrendous, horrendous thought, in my opinion. But if Joe was hurt all year, Ben wouldn't win. No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. That is not true. If Ben is the defensive player of the year, with or without Joel Embiid, Ben will be the defensive player of the year. $2 donation coming in from Chris Sheehan. Maxey's showing us why he needs more minutes over Shake. He might need more minutes over Shake, but I don't know if that's enough to play in the playoffs. I don't think he's ready for the playoffs. He's earning it for sure. Like, he's earning his respect right now out there, and he's deserving more minutes. I don't think it's playoff minutes. George Hill, Dwight Howard, Matisse Thybulle. There's your 8. Those are your definite 8. From there, it's what's going to happen after 8, and that's how it goes for me. And I think that's possible Doc territory, although I've alluded to this. I think Doc is going to give Furkan Korkmaz a chance. I think that he will give Furkan Korkmaz a chance. So I don't think Maxey's ready. Maxey's like in your back pocket, what you got building for a project piece. Tyrese Maxey's a project piece who's going to be a stud in a couple of seasons, and it's going to be beautiful. Or he's a trade piece to go out and add some real help, and he's part of a package when you get some help next year when you're making another run with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. He's one of those players that you can use as an asset for sure if you don't utilize him as part of your actual plan for a bigger picture. But, yeah, it's crazy for sure what Tyrese Maxey can be. Thank you so much, Sheehan. I don't think Korkmaz is versatile. I think he's a one-trick pony. So I think it's the opposite of versatile. I think all he has is a three-point shooting game. He tries to put the ball on the floor, and to be honest with you, I think it's too much. But Korkmaz is more of a one-trick pony, but he's making his shots right now. He might be your 9th guy. If he is anything, he's a 9th guy that gives you 5 minutes. And then once it's with a quick hook if things get ugly real quick. But that's how I think Doc Rivers is going to do it. George Hill, Dwight Howard, Matisse Thybulle, and then a super insanely short leash on a player like Furkan Korkmaz. Ben should play power forward. Unreal. Adrian, I am going to do a podcast today about that. You can call in to the Anytime hotline and leave your reaction. 856-442-9805. 856-442-9805. 9805. If you want to leave your thoughts on the Nick Sirianni press conference, I have a bunch of calls already in there, but yeah, you can get a chance to get into the show. I'm going to react to what I saw yesterday with the Philadelphia Eagles and this whole rock, paper, scissors, shoot debacle that we got going on. So that will be discussed at some point today. I know I got some business to take care of around noon. And then I'm looking, I think all we got tonight is your classic 7 o'clock Sixers Bucks, which I can't fucking wait. And then 7 o'clock Flyers Rangers, which I absolutely can wait for. They are a team that is irrelevant to my life, unfortunately. That's where we are. That's where we are. But I will share my thoughts on Nick Sirianni because I put this out there yesterday on Twitter, right? And I got some hate from some, believe it or not. Not shocking, but I pretty much tweeted out that is unprofessional a fair word to explain what the hell just happened with Nick Sirianni? In what world did he really truly speak that way? What the fuck did I just hear? And then people are like, what do you mean unprofessional? He answered the questions. He didn't say anything that was bad. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. So I had to clarify. Unprofessional as in high school, JV, Division III NCAA, low-end Division I football. Not unprofessional in terms of disrespectful. This whole giddy, I'm pumped up, and I'll keep it for the pod, but, you know, I've been talking to people who are involved in the league. They talk to a lot of players, a lot of former and players in the past, and they got some text messages that were a little like, yo, what is going on with this guy? This is professional football, all right? It's not loosey-goosey little pee-wee football where you're trying to get guys pumped up. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this Nick Sirianni thing works out. My friends thinks it's insane for saying Jokic is better than Mitchell. I mean, two totally different playing styles and positions, but that's to fight back that Jokic is better. Like if someone says Jokic is better than Murray, or I'm sorry, Mitchell. If someone fights back with that statement, they're just not very educated in the sport of basketball. That's no knock on Donovan Mitchell, but we're talking about Jokic being the favorite at -3 something to go win the MVP of the league. He probably just doesn't watch the Denver Nuggets very much and randomly throws him on once in a blue moon on TNT. And that's where I think a lot of the problem is with some of these assessments when people talk about others around the league. How often do you watch Jokic? How often do you watch these players that you say, oh, there's no way he's better than Embiid? Well, you watch Embiid for 82. You probably watch Jokic for 2. And there's a big difference when you watch someone and dissect their game every single day, every single possession, every single dribble compared to watching. And I can make the argument with Donovan Mitchell too, right? Well, the thing is with the Donovan Mitchell thing, right? So this is a good conversation. Because the last how many years with Joel and Ben have it been demanded that they have to win right now? And I try to explain to everybody that you don't carry a team to an NBA championship when you are a certain age. So when you go to Donovan Mitchell and how old he is, he's 24 years old. Being reliant on an older guy, having to really look into a veteran player, that makes sense. This is how it's supposed to be when you're 24 years old. Donovan Mitchell, as much as I give him crap and I can't stand looking at him, the dude balls. But the reason why that you say, well, Donovan Mitchell isn't going to be able to do it, he's not good enough, because he's not ready to win yet. He will be ready to win. Devin Booker wasn't ready to win. Still not ready to win. What do you need? A Chris Paul, a guy that you can rely on, someone who calms things down, a player who is a legit point guard. All that matters. Donovan Mitchell is not ready to win yet. That's why you look at him the way that you do. At 27, 28, 29, 30, I bet your ass you talk about Donovan Mitchell in a different way. In a different way. So, I mean, it's just crazy that, and with Ben Simmons, because I'm sure that there's some Ben Simmons stands saying Ben Simmons is the same way, Brodes. Why are you looking at it differently? Because if you see Donovan Mitchell earlier in his career and you watch him now, there's a progress there that makes sense. With Ben Simmons, there's not progress that, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you don't see the difference between a player at 22, 24 developing at a rate that makes it at least sustainable and makes you involved and invested, compared to a man that's still like insanely flawed in one area like no other, well, then I don't know really what to tell you. All I'm saying is Jokic and Murray have a two-man game like Brown and Davis. We have a one-man show. There's no two-man game in Ben and Joel. Jokic is more not valuable without But I don't understand how that would mess up if you're an MVP, giving you 26, 11, and 9. That is ridiculous. If someone does that for 60 of 72 games and one man gets hurt, that is ridiculous to think that, well, because they play a two-man game and they can't win the NBA champ. First off, who are you to say they can't make it? It might be that way, but who are you 3 months in advance to say they can't do it anymore if you are a voter? So after all that, because I don't think this isn't an NBA championship award. This is a regular season award. So it doesn't matter what they can do in the playoffs. That is irrelevant 100%, like so irrelevant. This is a regular season MVP award. So because you think they might not be able to win, and Joel Embiid, and they do play a two-man game, by the way. They're snug pick and rolls down low. I mean, they still do have a two-man game. It's not to the same level, but they do it. This is a regular season award. That's like saying, you know what, Giannis, he had a good season last year. We know he can't shoot, and we know that he's not going to be able to get past the Eastern Conference Finals, so he's not going to win it because we know that Giannis is flawed and his team isn't going to be able to make the run that we want him to make. You could have made that argument in years past that, well, Giannis, he's MVP, but he's not going to be able to carry them to a championship because he can't shoot the basketball, and teams are going to build a wall and pretty much use the spacing on the floor to force him to stay outside and shoot. We can't give him MVP now. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is like honestly one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. This whole he shouldn't win it because Jamal Murray got hurt. So now they can't win a championship. This isn't a projection of the championship award. It's an MVP award for the regular season. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. How about them Knicks? Yeah, the Knicks are winning basketball games. It's pretty crazy. The Knicks are winning basketball games. I'm still not like nervous about the Knicks. I actually saw some fans, earlier. This was before they went on this little ride, though, of watch out for the Knicks. Watch out for the Knicks. It's cute. It's cute. They'll be a hardworking team. They'll be a team that gives you all the effort in the world, and they'll make you earn something. But they don't have that legitimate talent to do anything serious, right? That's the difference. I think they're a hardworking team. They're bought into Tom Thibodeau. Julius Randle has had a nice season. They're 33-27. 33-27 would put you in the West in that 7th spot. In the East, it's putting you in the 4 and close to the Milwaukee Bucks at 3. It's cute. They're not ready yet, though. I respect them. I'm not saying anything about not respecting them. I would respect them. They could win a first. Let's see. Did I close out of the NBA standings? I might have. If they play a team like let's see who. If they land in the 4 spot, that means they play. Who would they play then? 1 plays 8, 7 plays 2, 3 plays 6. They play the 5th seed. I don't know why that took me that long. If they play a team like the Hawks, could they win a first round? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. That's the type of series that they are. That's where they are. And that's fine. That's a step in the right direction considering they've been an absolute nightmare for how many damn years. So I'm not trying to disrespect them. I think people are getting overboard with what the Knicks can be and how great they are. If you play the Hawks in a 7-game series in the first round of the playoffs, that is a winnable series. Quite frankly, I would be, if I was a Knicks fan, I would be disappointed if they lost that series. So I do think that it's reasonable to win a series. They're a one-series playoff team. That's what they are right now. And that's fine. Dude, think about where they were. I just think that there's an overreaction to who they are, as if it's way better than what it is. It's not way better than what it is. But yeah, that would I'm not afraid of the Knicks. I'm not afraid of the Knicks. No, so all right. So Jordan here says, I got it on Twitter the other night with Denver fans. I think Jokic is God. He's good, don't get me wrong. And they have beef with Joel's points from the free throws. So I would agree with you that if your problem is you don't like the way Embiid scores his points, that's, you can't fault that. So if Jokic was giving you 28 points a night, 29 points a night instead of 26, and he's doing it at the free throw line, it doesn't matter how. You're getting the points. That's why is Joel so unbelievable? Because he's dominant, big-wise. He's huge. He gets down low. He forces you to foul. That's why Joel Embiid is amazing. Like that is insane. That's his physicality, his aggressiveness, how large he is as a human being is part of the reason why we talk about him the way that we do. Knocking him for that size and saying, well, he's not actually that good. He just scores at the free throw line. Well, that's just an uneducated basketball fan. That's where I would have pulled the plug on the argument. See, I think I've learned that good balance of who to approach in social media and who not to approach. I brought up my Nick Sirianni tweets from yesterday. And, there's people like, this take sucks. Imagine being this guy. This guy's fucking stupid. No reason to clarify on your first tweet. It's just a horrendous take. And it's all these Sixers Twitter people that have like thousands of followers that do their own thing as well. And it's like, this is my thing. If my take bothered you that much, like no one's Twitter take bothers me that much where I need to, unless I know them and I'm having some fun with them. If I don't know you, you won't bother me enough where I need to go and respond to your comment, respond to your tweet. This is terrible. This is awful. How dare you think this way? Imagine feeling like this. If you feel that obligated to do that because you don't like the way I feel about the Eagles, if you're, another guy that has a show or there's not, like, by all means, man, have at it. I'm not going to get involved with you on Twitter. I pick and choose where I'm having that specific conversation. Excuse me. And if I get a point brought up to me like that, then they just don't know basketball. And then I would pull out on the topic, right? But yeah, I mean, dude, like if imagine feeling this way. Well, dude, like imagine not liking something and feeling the need to actually respond to it instead of just moving along. Just scroll along. There's so many bad takes I see on Twitter. I just don't respond to the takes. I just don't respond to it. There's a lot of morons out there. I just don't get fed into it. So if you think I'm a moron, don't get involved. Don't talk to me. Don't answer. Don't comment. Don't reply. Like, I can't believe, if you don't like a take that much, just don't get involved. Scroll up. Just keep fucking scrolling. Never understood it. I'll look this up in a second. Not my pig, not my farm. I don't know what that means, but I think I know what that means. What's up, Pat, dude? What's happening? Sports Twitter makes me think of First Take. It's way worse than First Take, believe it or not. And that's saying a lot. All right, what was I doing? We're looking up Defensive Player of the Year odds. Defensive. I wonder if it's Most Improved Player, Defensive Player of the Year. So Rudy Gobert is minus 335, and Ben Simmons is next at plus 230. So Ben Simmons has an outside shot looking in. They always give it to a big man, unfortunately. They always give it to the big man because of the size, because of the block shots, because of all that, instead of giving it to a player that has a little bit more versatility, that can defend out by the perimeter. They always do that. So, unfortunately, we're in a spot where Rudy Gobert is probably going to win it at minus 335. It sucks, but that's a reality of the situation. Now, you were talking about team futures to win the NBA championship. The Sixers are 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, I am actually blown away here. Blown away. I haven't looked at the futures in a while. I'm not a big future bettor. I'd rather bet on a game that night and see my money that night. Do you know that the NBA championship, the Milwaukee Bucks have a better opportunity to win the championship than the Sixers in terms of odds? Brooklyn Nets at plus 240. Lakers at plus 350. Never mind. Clippers at plus 650. Utah Jazz at plus 700. Milwaukee Bucks at plus 750. The Philadelphia 76ers at plus 1200. I don't know how they are above, or I guess after, the Milwaukee Bucks. That's crazy. They look at the Milwaukee Bucks as a better chance. Well, see, here's the thing. Where's this comment here? They do this with the Bucks every year. It's funny. Well, guess what? You know why they do it? Because they probably suck a lot of people in, and then they make money. So this is strategic. This is strategic. I think they do this for a reason where they set odds, they set numbers to suck the people in. You end up betting your money, and then bang, what do you know? Vegas wins their money. So when you say they do this every year, it's actually funny. They do this with the Bucks. Well, guess what? I think it's very strategic on why they do this with the Bucks, why they give you odds that way, and it's all planned out, man. It's all planned out. When you sit back and you kind of think about it, I think there's a reason why they do it this way. There's a reason why. Because people bet on it. They see, oh, hold on, Milwaukee's plus 750. That might be telling me something. It's good odds. You can put a little down, make a decent amount. Taking 1,200 is a steal. Yeah, it's worth a shot for sure. I do agree here, Evan, that plus 1,200 for the Sixers, it's not bad. It's very reasonable. Sports betting makes the game worse for me. From a sports fan, I agree. From a sports fan, I agree, because now I'm worried about my money and I'm not watching the game for its beauty. I'm not watching the game for what it is. You have a totally different set of eyes when you're watching the game with money on it compared to, I love it. I got one buddy, right, who every time he puts a bet on, I know within 5 minutes who he bet. That's not a foul. That's bullshit. Oh, that's a foul. That's a foul. It's like, dude, last game, it's crazy how you can complain the way you do about all these foul calls when you have money on it. But when you don't have money on it, it's not a foul. And when it's the Sixers, it's not a foul. But when you got money on it, it's a foul, and they didn't call it and they miss it. It's like, dude, you are so irrational here, screaming about these foul calls just because you want to get to the free throw line to get the over number up. It's crazy. Oh, not my pig, not my farm is what I say when people are too focused on what other people say. I agree. Look, I think I remember you. Well, hold on. I'll get here first. Yeah, it's like if you don't like my Twitter take, it's so crazy. It's like just don't respond to the Twitter take, right? Like how I feel about the Eagles should never, ever, ever in a million years get you hating like so much. It's like it's a sport. It's an opinion about sports. I like having back and forth, and that's the fun of this. But I do think people like cross that line of going overboard with it, where you lose sleep over what I think about the Eagles. I like sports talk radio is all about debate because we care so much and we're passionate about it. But you shouldn't be losing sleep over me thinking Nick Sirianni's press conference wasn't good. I remember you wearing this shirt in high school. This is actually everyone's got their drawer of hangout shirts around the house. This is like the hangout shirt around the house. This is like one of the sleep shirts that make it forever. One of those sleep shirts. I mean, you could tell it's old. Look at the style of it. Look at the helmet involved. This is an old school t-shirt. This is a shirt from like the 90s. You know? Look at the logo. Look at the bucket. Look at the logo on the helmet. It's a good shirt, man. It's one of my hangout shirts. Oh, I'm not hating. I'm being honest. Unreal. Vince Velasquez in Coors Stadium. Yeah, the thing is, Coors Field, they stink. The Colorado Rockies absolutely stink. Let's begin on the MLB standings, shall we? Let's begin on the MLB standings. They are a bad, 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 bad baseball team. They are 6-12. 6-12. The Yankees are 6-11, by the way. Their fans not so happy. I don't know if this surprises you or not, but their fans are not having a good time. Amazing. Literally amazing. I'm not feeling great about it. Obviously, it's Vince Velasquez. There's never a good moment to actually feel good about it. They're 0-6 away. They're 6-6 at home. They're 3-7 in their last 10. I know we talk about it as like, well, you can't lose any games to this team. You got to sweep them. Just win the damn division. All right, just win the damn division. That's all I'm saying. Win the damn, win the damn series. I mean, win the series. It's a 3-game set. I know it's easy to demand that you have to go out there and win all 3. I would love for you to win all 3, but win 2 of 3. Just go win 2 of 3. Red Sox fans just complaining earlier this month. Look at them now. Well, they only had 3 bad games to start the season. I don't know if they were like really, really, really complaining to that level. They had 3 bad games. They started off the series getting swept, and then from there they just put on a ride of unbelievable offensive statistics, scoring a bunch of runs, and winning baseball games. So I don't think they were like complaining that much to the point where, I mean, it was 3 baseball games. I think it was your standard reaction to a 3-game start to the season more than anything else. Well, no, let's not do this. See, this is where we cross the line. Uh, I thought you said that Vinny V had a decent outing before. They don't play today. They play tomorrow. They play tomorrow at like 8:30. They don't play today. I saw Mets fans saying Lindor was an awful contract. Now, that's crazy. That's like, once again, that goes back to uneducated people. I mean, first off, if you look at the standings, they're in first place at 7-6. Not that that's crazy by any means. It's not crazy, but they're 7-6. They're in first place is my point, and they're hanging in there with with the top of the division right now, in a division that we all thought was going to probably be a little bit better than this when you look at the Braves and look at the Nationals and look at the Mets. But that's crazy. But that's New York market for baseball. That's Mets fans. I think that's crazy, to be honest with you. Here's an interesting thought. We may be the worst city for sports Twitter. We're up there. We're up there. We're up there. I mean, it's East Coast. It's not just Twitter. I think it's more of just where we are with the geographic. It's anything in Boston. I follow Keith Smith, who does an amazing job covering the Celtics, and he also does the NBA for Yahoo Sports. He does a great job, and he specifically though focuses up on the Celtics, and the amount of fire Brad Stevens comments that he gets after every loss is ridiculous. They did the same thing that they do with Brad Stevens that happened to Brett Brown for the last 7 years. That's going to happen with Doc Rivers in the next couple of years if there's no championship. There's so much involved on that, where it's New York, it's Boston, it's Philadelphia. It's just the nature of the passion, but it's ridiculous. I know. Unfortunately, it's the beauty of playing in Philadelphia, and it's the downfall of playing in Philadelphia. I just wish that, because you can be passionate at the same time as you could be passionate and care so much about your teams, but not be a complete idiot. Unfortunately, it seems to be tough for some. It's hard for some to kind of find that balance, and that's where we are. That is where we are. I don't know what it would take to get Gallo from the Rangers, honestly. And Gallo's one. I don't know where he's hitting right now. He would get insanely criticized here though, because all he does is strike out. He'll hit home runs, but he's hitting 222, and he's got 1 home run, and he's walked 20 times already, which is pretty solid. But 23 strikeouts in 54 at bats. I'm not telling you it wouldn't help compared to what you have, but I'm telling you that he is going to get insanely booed. He's going to get insanely criticized. He's going to get annihilated by this fan base because he's going to strike out maybe 8 times in a row at one stretch, and then he'll give you 1 home run. or he'll give you 2 home runs. I mean, he's got to provide that insane power. If he's going to strike out the amount of times he's going to strike out in this city, he's going to at least have to have 40 danks. It's insane. Margot from the Rays. Are they willing to trade Margot, though? That's the thing. How about the Rays, man? I mean, it's crazy where they're 10-9, so it's not as if they're just taking it for a ride. But you trade Blake Snell. You get rid of these players. You just make it to the World Series, and then they still stay competitive. Now, I'm not telling you they're as good as they were last year, but you got Joey Wendell, okay? No one even knows who the fuck Joey Wendell is. My man is giving you Bryce Harper numbers. He's hitting 365. Fucking Joey Wendell, 3 homers, 15 RBI. Joey Wendell's hitting 365 with a 1.0 OPS. No one even knows who Joey Wendell is. They just continue to get this talent. At 31 years old, my man Joey Wendell is. Started out in Oakland, Tampa Bay. I'll tell you what, the way they build their teams, like you wouldn't think that you can get rid of Blake Snell and make these moves and say, screw it, we're kind of going in another direction. We don't care what your name recognition is. We don't care about your brand. And then here you go. The Rays just stay competitive. Joey Wendell. I love it. I love watching the Rays. And I feel like I'm an outlier. Of course, there's probably a lot out there that see the Rays and they get turned off. I'm not watching this garbage. You're telling me I'm watching the Rays? Oh, baseball analytics, blah, blah, blah. Dude, if you don't love watching this Rays team, I don't know what to tell you. You don't love baseball. How about that? The fact that they have nobodies and they can, like, this is what amazes me. How competitive they really can be with that type of money spent. And it's impressive. To hate analytics when you watch them do it, I admire the analytics when I watch them do it. The fact that they're in a division with the Yankees and the Red Sox and these teams that spend all this money and they are involved. They beat the Yankees and they beat them down. The Yankees haven't won a series against the Rays in like the last 7 series dating back to the playoff. They cannot beat the Rays. The Yankees don't know how. Like, to me, that's amazing. Amazing. Yeah, their system's crazy. And the thing is, you see what they do with nobodies, so then you would try to apply that logic with the team that spends money. The Dodgers do it. The problem is you went inside their organization to do it. If you try and go outside their organization to do it, that's where you get fooled and you get sliced up a bit. But, it doesn't work for everyone. You can't just apply that to everything and everybody. You got to kind of be unique and creative with it. And I think that's where the problem is with analytics right now is you try and be the Rays perfectly to a T where you just can't. You can use those numbers, but you got to somehow filter through how it works best for your team with your players and with your system as well. Yeah, dude. Glass now is unreal. Great lettuce, too. I'll tell you what. Beautiful hair. Just beautiful hair. As a hair guy myself, you look at him and, dude, he's giving you 0.73 ERA. 0.73 ERA right now in 4 games. 24.2 innings pitched, 7 walks, only allowed 9 hits, only 2 earned runs with 36 strikeouts. Tyler Glass now is unbelievable. What do I think about the Red Sox jerseys? You're talking about the yellow ones? I think when you watch at first when you just see it, it's what are they doing? In what world is that what they're rocking? And then when you watch their pump-up video with Big Papi talking and David Ortiz about what city they are and just the defining of the city and all, it kind of grew on me a bit when you look at the background of it. If you just see it, I can see why you question it. What in the world is this? This is ugly. This is awful. And it is weird. It's strange. I'm not going to deny that the color scheme is a little out there, but I don't hate it as much as I think some of the Twitter world went off with those yellow and blue jerseys. Good luck, Riley, on your Spanish test, man. Oh, yeah, no doubt Glass now is – oh, for sure. Oh, my God. This is incredible shit right now that we're getting out of Tyler Glass now, no doubt. He is just the watching him grow, the growth of, that's what I was trying to get out there when I was going, the growth in his pitches and the way that he has, it's not to the same level. By no means am I saying it's to the same level, but in their respected play, when you saw Zach Eflin kind of take that stride as a pitcher that had a repertoire and then intensified all of his pitches, so then they were more perfect. They were better versions of themselves. Those pitches elevate. If those pitches were in the B category, now they're at the B plus to the A minus category for Zach Eflin's repertoire. For Tyler Glasnow, we saw his skill set, we saw his pitches, and then he's kind of took that and really grew with those pitches and intensified those pitches to his special play, and he's kind of taken that jump. Tyler Glasnow is a ridiculous force. Am I going to stream MLB The Show? That's a good question, Joseph. I don't know. Maybe. I do have something to do at noon. That's probably going to take around 2 o'clock. And then we have the Sixers and the Flyers at 7. Realistically, just the Sixers. We don't care about the Flyers anymore, although it will be on my TV, on the secondary TV with some background noise just to keep my eye on the ugliness, unfortunately. I don't know. What you need to do is follow me on Twitter at Brodes81, and I will tweet out if I am going live or not. So that is what I'll say. I don't know if I'm going on MLB The Show. If I do, it'll be maybe around 2 o'clock or so, just like it was 2 days ago. It's possible. I got my first win on Veteran, by the way. I got my first win on Veteran. I'm so proud of myself. We got that victory with my new drafted team that I did with the Seattle Mariners. So maybe it is possible. Howie Roseman, my Road to the Show character, is doing a little tough right now. I'm in a really ugly streak. I was batting like 330, and now I'm down to like 265. So we're having a tough spot. Oh, wait. That just reminded me because someone just mentioned the draft. I don't know if it'll be 2 o'clock or so. I have to do that Eagles press conference pod. So I do need to record an Eagles press conference podcast, which doesn't mean I can't do both. I could do the Eagles pod and I can do the MLB The Show stream. Let me write this down on my little list of things to do today. I'm a writer-downer. I have a lot of things there. I got my calendar that breaks down everything. And then I also have like my day-to-day stuff which is crazy because you would think I would just look at the calendar and, oh, well, that's what you have to do for the day. The calendar is sort of this is what I have for my weeks. And then the daily, piece of paper is, okay, the checklist for the day. Two totally different situations. Now, I don't know why my brain works the way that it does, but my brain does work differently. If you do want to call in to the Anytime hotline, by the way, you should. 856-442-9805. Call in with your reaction about Nick Sirianni. If you want to talk about what Nick Sirianni said yesterday and make my podcast that I'm going to record later this afternoon, 856-442-9805. I'll put it in the actual comments here. People ask me all the time about what the number is. So that is the phone number to chime in to the Anytime hotline. You think Howie moves from 12 again? I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do move. Do I think the Sixers win tonight? There's so much riding on that question. Who's playing? Doc was asked if Ben Simmons is even going to make the trip, and he said he doesn't know. He's sick. So I don't know if he's not even making the trip, well, then obviously without Ben Simmons, I don't know. Is Joel Embiid going to play in the second half of a back-to-back after logging in 30-plus minutes again yesterday and holding that left knee? That's a problem. That's a situation. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there to answer that question. Unfortunately, I wish I had it. No, I disagree. Devontae Smith is too small. I disagree completely. I disagree. How do you call in? You use your phone number and you call it. You take your phone, you hit the number, and then you leave a message. That's how you call in. Devontae Smith at 166 is not too small to select him. If you're going to, you know what's going to happen, right? You don't select him because you're afraid of his size, and then he becomes an unbelievable player. And you sit there and go, really? You didn't select him because of his size? Yes, you have to leave a message. It shouldn't even ring, by the way. It should go right to voicemail. I'll try as well. I'll try it and see what happens. I'm pretty positive it just goes right to voicemail because it's on Do Not Disturb. 856-442-9805. Thanks for calling the Anytime hotline. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't ring at all. It goes right there. They don't know how to use the phone to make a call. Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, that's where we are with this word, with those young guns out there, with those young cats, if you will. Would I rather have Korkmaz drop 60 or Velasquez pitch a shutout? Oh, Korkmaz dropping 60 is way more impressive than Vince Velasquez pitching a shutout. So I'll take 60 points any day of the week. People pitch shutouts. Dropping 60 is pretty damn impressive. I'm not saying that pitching a shutout isn't impressive. It is. Aaron Nola just got his first one, so that's telling you a lot. But I think 60 for sure is probably more impressive. All right. So with that, everyone, it is closing in here at 10 o'clock. So what I want to do is thank everyone for hanging out today on Coffee with Brodes. We got one more day left in the week. So yeah, we got one more day of Coffee with Brodes. We didn't even touch on Andrew Knapp, who, to start this off, the title of this show today is Andrew Knapp would be a great president, Embiid's last shot. So we didn't even touch on Andrew Knapp. That's so sad. So sad for him. Any more streams today? We don't know. You got to stay tuned on Twitter at Brodes81. I don't know if I'll go live on MLB The Show. That's the place for you to find out. Thank you so much for the support. It's always appreciated. You are the best. See you